I was participating in the value creation in the lubricant sector panel discussion this morning, along with an eminent set of speakers from other players in the value chain. It's a really important topic at this point in time. I believe we're at an inflection point for this industry. We've got deglobalization, we've got the energy transition, we've got specification changes, we've got digitization, we've got talent retention. There are so many different factors influencing the lubricants value chain right now. But in among all of that, we've got to make sure we keep a single-minded focus on adding value that we can be monetized in the industry by our ultimate customers. We're a multiple stage value chain. We've got refining of raw materials, we've got additive components, we've got additive formulation, lubricant formulation, and of course the end consumer. And we've got to make sure that every part of that chain is adding value. I think the top three challenges for this industry will depend a little bit on where you are in the value chain. But for me, if you're in this value chain, the energy transition and sustainability are absolutely fundamental to how we play. They cover all aspects. The energy transition is happening, it's the right thing to do. But the energy transition is not a one-directional road. For sure, the lithium-ion battery is going to play a major role in the future, but it's only one of many different futures. The hybrid is a major part of the future powertrain mix. Different raw materials, different fuels such as methanol and ammonia, re-refined base stocks, biocircular raw materials, electrofuels. There are many different elements which we need to make sure that we are providing suitable lubrication approaches for to help facilitate the energy transition. The second element I think is important is sustainability. Now, sustainability, of course, covers the environmental axis, but it also covers many more as well. There are 17 United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, and they cover everything from diversity, equity, inclusion, waste management, equal education, water, life above and below, on land and below water. And I think as an industry, we owe it to ourselves and indeed to the wider communities to make sure that we're delivering across that spectrum. And the reason I picked those two out is because ultimately, as an industry, we're dependent on the talent in this industry. Many young people today look at the oil and gas business as bad. And I think that's a fundamental challenge that all of us need to respond to and to provide solutions to. Being part of the industry, providing those solutions, that's where I would like to see the future talent go. When I started my career 30 years ago, it was almost a badge of honour to work for a large oil and gas company. I think today a lot of people don't see it that way. And that's something I think we all need to work on. So my name's Chris Locke and I'm the Executive Vice President for Commercial for Infinium. If I was going to pick three key priorities, I think first of all I'd have to start with customer centricity. And for me, customer centricity, which is a word that gets you, or a phrase that gets used a lot, can be summarised in a very simple phrase. We are successful only when our customers are successful. And I think in this very VUCA world, this volatile, uncertain, complex, ambiguous world, then really understanding what our respective customers want, need and value, and delivering that, no more, but no less. That's something that all of us need to keep in mind when we're talking about value creation. The second element I would pick out is digitalisation. I think we live in a digital world, but as a complete industry, we're actually pretty immature compared to so many other industries out there. But it's got enormous value to bring in terms of efficiency and effectiveness. And that in turn reduces cost from the system and allows us to deliver value to the customers in a way which is both affordable and helps drive growth. That can cover all sorts of different areas, certainly logistics, certainly supply chain, certainly manufacturing optimization, but it also spans into areas like technology, where we can use machine learning and our artificial intelligence algorithms to really add value. And the final part, as I've mentioned earlier, is around talent. I see it as a major part of my role, is to make sure this industry remains an attractive proposition for new, young, dynamic talent coming out of universities. And that to me is what will allow us to be successful, not just in the next 5 or 10 years, but the next 20 and 30 years. I've had a wonderful career and I've always felt we're adding value not just to the industry or even to our individual companies, but to the global ecosystem. And that's something I think we can all do a better job of advocating for the next generation of talent. So Lubricant Expo is one of a large number of conferences these days. I think every conference needs to ask what its unique proposition is. Why should somebody come to this conference versus one of the many others available? I think Expo is a very exciting proposition because it spans the entire value chain. You've got everybody represented through components, base stocks, additive suppliers, lubricant suppliers, and the end consumer. And that's something which I find a very unique and very valuable proposition. If we start to look at why do you come to a conference, it's really for three purposes. You come to listen and to learn from speakers. You come to be inspired in terms of what you could do differently in your own organisation. And also you come to network. And I think if I look at all three, Expo really does bring a lot of value. And in particular, the sheer number of people here is a very unique opportunity to network across a wide range of the industry. I think the highlights of the Lubricant Expo so far fit into two categories. First of all, walking around the stands this morning, it's been amazing how professional the setup is, the quality of the speakers and the delegates on the various stands, and the level of conversation that we've been having. And that's something I think we can really appreciate. Time is valuable, and when you can see the key decision makers in a very efficient format, that's great. But for me, the highlight has to be sharing the stage with such an eminent set of speakers this morning. It was great to be with people at a senior decision-making level in both the overall market assessment area, in the additives industry, my peer group, and also with our customers in the lubricant. And I think that's something which I will take away from this and value a bit going forward.